Make some noise if you're ready for the round table. So, just real quick, I was born in 1982, and a lot of the shows I grew up with, they used to say filmed in front of a live studio audience. So, you guys are our live studio audience. We want to make sure you have a good time. We want to make sure that you're engaged. You're going to learn something as well. So we appreciate your patience while we got everything set up. Without further ado, you good? Without further ado, this is the round table.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Are you ready? Hi. Are you ready to have the most fun you've ever had in your life? Yeah. Are those of you under the age of 14 and a half ready to have the most fun you've ever had in your life? Yeah. Are those of you decrepit old people over the age of, let's say, 36, ready to have the most fun of your life? Ah, yeah, I like that. Let's hear it again from our over 36 decrepit people. Now let's hear it from our under 14 young people. Now let's hear it from Zach King. All right. Folks, I don't like to brag. I want to put this in the most humble way possible, but I am amazing. This show tonight is going to be amazing. Do you know how busy your pastoral staff has been this week? Do you know the things that we've been doing? Yeah, well, some people do. Like, you take Pastor Jake. I'm not the only amazing one. We got Jake, we got Ben back there. We're going to introduce them in a second. They went to a presbytery meeting. We all went to a presbytery meeting. We were gone for Thursday and Friday and Saturday? Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. We were gone for 3 days. And then Jake came and he preached an amazing sermon this morning, right? How does he do it? He's built different. That's right, Abraham. Your dad is built different. He's a man who's built wanting the maximum amount of applause. In fact, I'm going to get fired if we don't give him a lot of love when he comes out. And so I want to introduce to you your head pastor, Jacob Menzel! I see his shoes. Come on out, Jake! Jacob, how you doing?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I just called you Jacob.
I know. It's weird.
Did you ever think about the fact that if there was a bear, and that bear had 26 children, and he or she, let's say it's the mother bear, and she's got 26 children, and she names them like A bear, and B bear, and C bear, and B, like all the way to, and they were little baby bears, they'd be cubs. And we would get to J-Cub, be like a name for a bear.
It's hilarious. It's a good
Have
joke.
You thought about that?
I have now, thanks.
So I just thought about it right now and thought that it was worth our audience's time. Hey, Speaking of time, you know what a good use of time is?
What's that?
Introducing the man, the myth, the legend, a man worthy of double the applause. Your assistant pastor, Benjamin Salzer! Now, Ben, when you do this hand gesture, that's your way of saying more, right?
You know me well, Nathan.
I know you well. Now, Ben, your name is a little bit like the past tense of the word be.
I've never thought of that before.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But this is what we
pretty
get when we
cool.
ad-lib our openings. All right, folks. Last week, or no, not last week. Last week was something, I don't know. A month ago, we had the round table. How many of you were here for that one? Yeah, a decent amount. And one person thought it was worth clapping for. Listen, we ended on a cliffhanger, did we not?
We did.
Now, what was this? What was going on in this thing?
I think our old frenemy, Quentin Seltzer, who bears no resemblance to me, was plotting evil and nefarious deeds with giant talking Twinkie.
Yes, that's right. Now, who is Ben Seltzer? Who is Quentin Seltzer? Like, what's his whole deal?
He's kind of a narcissist. He kind of likes to think he's a big shot.
He likes to think,
but he's silly.
And was plotting revenge on us with our old nemesis, giant talking Twinkie. And yeah, is that all they need to know?
I think there's nothing else they need to know.
All right, let's roll this amazing video. With sound. Let's start over the amazing video and include the sound element of the video.
I like the sound of that.
I hear it somewhere.
Hey everybody, Quentin Seltzer here. Artist, raconteur, maker of revenge bombs. Of course, I had to leave one of those off my dating profile because ladies are scared of a raconteur. You know what? Getting revenge on the round table would be simplicity itself. All I need to do to make a homemade bomb is follow instructions left by a giant talking Twinkie, the big man. But first, don't forget to hit like and subscribe, ladies. You know, there's just one little bitty problem, which is that I know better than that big dumb piece of cake. I'll just make a couple of little changes to these instructions. Let's just follow these modified instructions now, shall we? Well, that was unexpected. I made the mistake of changing the instructions that the Twinkster gave me. He laid down the law. I broke the law. There were consequences right here. So from now on, I'm gonna be good, obedient Quentin. Just do things in the order he told me to do them. Right after I try it my way one more time. Phase 3 of Quentin Seltzer's revenge bomb thingamadoo. But I figured out what went wrong last time. It was because of me. It was because of what I did. I've been following the wrong person this whole time. Giant talking Twinkie, he done me wrong in his instructions. So instead of following a scary cake person like Giant talking Twinkie, it's time for me to follow a different scary cake person. I know I can trust Giant talking Hostess Cupcake for some reason. All right, show me how it's done, Giant talking Hostess Cupcake. I guess it goes without saying that I connect the glorp nut to the woggle piston. Right, Giant talking Hostess Cupcake? Plug this in right here, like this. What could possibly go wrong?
All right. Wow, what a video. How about a round of applause for that video? Did you guys know you were going to see the greatest movie of your lives when you came today?
They came, so clearly not.
All right.
You wouldn't have.
What's that?
Nothing.
Okay. All right, well, now that we've gotten that out of the way, a clear, good use of everyone's time, welcome to the round table. Tonight we are here to talk about the fall.
Because it's October. Right? Maybe that's not why.
We're talking about the fall, like sin today. What's that?
Oh.
He said, oh.
Oh. We're talking about the fall, like the fall into sin, like disobedience to God's instructions. A little bit like that amazing video that we just watched. Because Quentin, bless his heart, did he follow the instructions? No, he didn't.
Sin also has to do with having a stubborn, rebellious heart, which I'm pretty sure describes our good friend Quentin Seltzer.
All of which leads to bad consequences that kind of destroy your life, which is what happened in the video over and over and over again.
And sin leads to bad consequences for other people, like us watching that video. Hey, in any case, we're going to talk about sin today. In particular, 4 things. Number 1, what sin is. Can I make the thing ring? Number 2, where sin leads. Number 3, where sin came from. And number 4, how sin gets to us. So, let's talk about number 1. What is sin and how does it work in us? Jake, give us a definition.
Sin is anything in us or anything that we do that displeases God.
Okay, sin is anything in us or anything that we do that displeases God. All right, so what displeases God?
Well, anything that goes against God's commands, against his law. 1 John 3:4. Everyone who makes a practice of sinning also practices lawlessness. Sin is lawlessness.
So sin is anything contrary to God's law, and it's also anything that goes against his character.
Anything that contrary to God's law, also anything that goes against his character. Okay, what's the difference?
Well, think about it this way. God says, don't murder, and so if I murder somebody, that's a sin, right? That goes against God's commands.
Even if they're from Canada?
Even then.
Okay, just checking. Oh, right. But also, God is love. 1 John 4:8. That's who God is. He's love. So anytime we don't love someone, whether that's in a big way or a small way, we fail to love them. That's sin because that goes against God's character.
So, in a sense, it's kind of like a false distinction, right? God's commands and God's character always go together. When God gives us commands like, do not murder, he's not just, throwing a dart at some kind of divine dartboard, like picking a thing out of a hat. Oh, I guess I'll make murder bad this time. No, he's showing us his character. He's showing us what love looks like in action.
Right, murder is bad because God is love.
Yeah, sort of like at my house, we aren't allowed to eat Chick-fil-A because we all have taste buds. So it wouldn't be in our character to eat Chick-fil-A.
I don't know what that says about you, but not good things.
Bad taste.
Bad taste.
Things escalated right here. I like to slide the knife in when no one's expecting it, and also when people are expecting it. So, when you sin against God's commands, you sin against God's character, which at its heart is love.
And that's why Romans 13:8 says, "Owe no one anything except to love each other, for the one who loves another has fulfilled the law."
And Romans 13:10 says, "Love does no wrong to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfilling of the law."
All right, got it. So commands and character, God's character, go together. Love fulfills the law. Next question, though. Who sins?
Pick me. I'll answer it.
Benjamin.
Okay. You got to ask me again. Set me up again.
All right,
Here we go.
Benjamin,
I got
Benjamin Jerome Sulzer, please tell us in your own words, who sins?
Everyone!
Well put. We all violate God's commands and act against his character.
Yeah, Romans 3:23 says, "All have sinned and fall short of the glory of God." Sin is a falling short of God's glory. It's falling short of his character.
Okay, so that's what sin is. That's how it works in us. Now, what kind of power does it have over us?
Well, sin has power over us in three major ways.
You know, I've heard of good things that come in threes, like the little pigs and the musketeers and the blind mice and the billy goat scruff.
The Stooges.
They come in threes. Yeah, good things, all of them.
Kit Kat bar? No. They come in four? What does a Kit Kat bar come in?
It depends. 2s and 4s, I think.
Yeah, never threes. All right.
No,
bad
no.
example of a
Yeah,
thing,
bad
good thing that
example.
comes
This is a
in
bad
threes.
example.
But this is a bad thing that comes in threes. Like Jake's eyebrows.
What does that even mean?
Your secret's safe with us, Jake.
We won't tell anyone what it means, Jake. Wink. All right. Sin has power over us in three major ways.
Okay, first way has to do with our heart. Second way has to do with our actions. The third way has to do with whether we're guilty or innocent.
Why don't you explain it to us, Ben?
I'm going to explain it. It's simple. All right. Sin is a power that corrupts our hearts, and it makes our hearts like rebellious and polluted and dead and evil. It gets right in there. And then, well, hey, let's give out a big technical word, because you kids, you always want the big fancy words. Yeah, you do. Theologians call this our disposition. Your disposition is bad because you're a sinner. And then, so that's bad. Yep. You don't want to worship God. You don't want to submit to him. Your heart, it's all bad. But then, because your heart is bad, guess what happens next? You start to do bad things. Heart's bad. You do bad things. That's a very good example up there. That's a bad thing. And you do other bad things. You don't even have to wear a robber mask. Yeah. And then because you do bad things, guess what? Are you guilty or innocent? Which one? You're guilty, right. It's like that guy up there. Okay, so God's like, I'm going to judge you. You're guilty. You're not innocent. And so sin's got us heart, action, and guilt, just like that. All three ways.
I couldn't help but notice you were making some hand motions there.
You notice things very well, my friend.
I've got the eyes of a fox.
He's got the eyes of a fox, yes.
If a fox notices hand motions.
Some foxes do.
Yeah, I've got the eyes of a fox that notices hand motions.
Yep.
We'll call him Jeff. Jeff the hand motion noticing fox. It was a really long week, folks. All right, so do you want to do that? I think what I'm trying to say is hand motions are things that kids like to do.
Yes, they are. All right. Hey, you guys, why don't you copy me? First of all, put a fist over your heart, because sin is in your heart. Then put your fist in the air, because you're doing things that are bad, like
Can we get
and then like turn your arm around and try to hide your face, because God is looking at you and you're guilty. And when God says you're guilty, we all want to hide. Good job, you got it. You guys are going to remember those, right? Yes, you will. There will be a test.
You know, guys, it occurs to me that these three aspects of sin are like the chords of a single rope. The rope of sin. And it's like that rope is around our neck in a noose.
That's bad news for us.
No noose is bad news.
That noose is bad news.
Hypotenuse.
I'm at the end of my rope, guys.
Well, I don't want to leave you guys hanging out there, but I don't know what else to say.
All right, let's bring all the strands together. None of that was scripted. I just want people to know what's happening up here. All right, so that's what sin is. Let's get on to our second big question of the night, which is, where does sin lead? Or maybe another way of asking that is, what effect does sin have on us?
So the bottom line is that sin separates us from God. It kills us both spiritually and physically. It's the reason why there's death in the world at all, why there's corruption. We're going to talk about all of that as we go on tonight.
So what you're saying is that God is in the process of judging mankind, like right now.
Right now, yes. And the most obvious way we see God's judgment is that death even exists in this world. Corruption exists in this world, like physical death. Things die, people die. But even though death is awful, death is not the end of God's judgment for our sin.
And that's because there's a final judgment coming, where we stand before God's throne, and there is a second death.
Right. 2 Corinthians 5:10 says, "For we must all appear before the judgment seat of Christ, so that each one may receive what is due for what he has done in the body, whether good or evil."
Which is the scariest possible thought imaginable. Every individual sin in our lives, every time we've hated somebody in our hearts, or lusted after somebody, or stolen something, or lied, or whatever, it's all infinitely offensive to God. There is no sin in him, and he's perfect.
Right. God is perfect, so sin offends him perfectly.
Yeah, God hates our sin in this intense way we can hardly understand. It's like we're so used to rolling in the mud and being covered with mud. But that's not really a strong enough example.
Sewage is a better example. We are so used to the stench and filth that we can't imagine how it smells. We don't understand how bad it smells and how it looks to a God who's totally clean and holy.
Right. We are really completely foul to God. We're dirty, we're gross, inside out, right?
Yeah. Even one little bit of sewage makes you stink, right? You get sewage on you? Well, that's how God is. God looks at our sin and it stinks. It
Right.
only takes a little bit to completely offend him, and we do deserve to be punished for our sin.
It only takes a little bit, but we have tons. We have tons of sewage that we bring before a holy God.
That's right. And because of that, when he judges us on the final day, we're toast.
Stinky toast.
Please don't say that again.
Don't stinky toast? I just want to be clear.
Yeah, okay, yeah, no. Jake, you know to serve is to obey for us. To love is to, whatever. You know what I'm saying. You get the
Right,
gist.
yeah.
So,
We want to respect your desires.
right, we respect your desires. Sometimes we even do them. And in this case, we want to. So, stinky toast.
That's the one, yeah.
You
no,
don't want us
stop.
to say the phrase stinky toast.
Yeah. Please don't.
Stinky
Well,
toast.
I think it's very important that we promise never to say the words stinky toast again.
Right. Ben, I want to shake your hand on this. We will never say the phrase stinky toast again, right, my friend?
We're especially not going to sing about it.
No. What kind of
That would be doubly offensive.
what kind
to
of a
Jake.
ridiculous thing would this be if we sang about stinky toast? Plus, I feel like singing about stinky toast is kind of saying the phrase stinky toast, which we've established Jake hates the
Singing
phrase.
it, saying it, they're a
stinky
little
toast.
bit different, don't you
Right.
think? It's a little
Stinky
different.
toast, yeah, right.
Yeah. Don't look at me like that, Jake. I'm your friend.
All right, so Jake, do you feel respected? Do you feel loved?
I wish that hammer was around here. You know, the one that we...
That went badly last time.
Did it?
Yeah,
I didn't think so.
I got hit with a hammer.
Yeah, no, it's not hammer time.
Sorry, man.
You start dancing now.
No,
I'm not sure which would be more offensive.
nope.
So we're not going to say this phrase sticky toast.
Okay, we're good.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all good.
You got to get us out of this.
Oh, I do.
Yeah.
You do, yeah.
I mean, we can keep going.
I was just waiting for the song to come on.
Nope.
We told you we're not going to
Yeah,
sing
we're not
it.
doing
Okay,
a
all
song.
right, good. Did we answer the question that we were asking? Like, what happens because of sin? Where does it lead?
Okay. Let's be serious for a second. There's no good transition out of this, is there?
No,
No,
there's
there's
not.
Why did you insist on us putting the sticky toast thing into the script, Jake?
You're right, it was all me. Always is, every time.
Look, there's no other way to say it. Sin leads to hell, right? Left to ourselves, we'll be judged and thrown by God into hell.
And hell is forever. It's a place of torment. It doesn't end. It lasts forever. You're there forever because our sin is that bad.
Yeah, there's an analogy in an old theology book that I like that's terrifying, where the guy he says, imagine a beach. Like, imagine Indiana sand dunes. Anybody ever been to Indiana sand dunes? No.
How about the beach?
How about
Just
the
pick a
beach? Imagine a random beach somewhere. Anyone ever been to a beach? Okay.
There we go.
A lot of sand at the beach, right? So imagine every 1,000 years spent in hell, you got to remove 1 grain of sand from the beach. Now, by the time the entire beach was empty of sand, you'd still just be beginning your time in hell, right? That's forever. And that's a hard thing for people to accept, like that sin is that bad. People want to make excuses. They want to think they're not that bad. Their sin is understandable. Everyone makes mistakes. Our sins are just mistakes.
Everyone does make mistakes, but mistakes are not the same things as sins. Sins are sins, and people want to change God. They want to change his rules. They want his rules to be different. They want him to forgive us just because. They don't think it's fair for God to judge us. But guess what? God is God.
And God doesn't change. And God's rules don't change. And that's why hell is a real place where God has promised to send sinners.
That's right. The good news, of course, is that we do have a way of escape in Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and we'll talk about that a little bit today, but we'll talk about that a lot more in months to come.
Okay, so we've talked about what sin is and where sin leads. Let's talk about our third big question, which is, where did sin come from?
In some ways, that's a mystery. But what the Bible makes clear is that Adam and his wife Eve rebelled against God's command by eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right. God told them not to do it, and they did it. They ate anyway. I mean, they were tempted by the serpent, by Satan, who lied to them, but Eve believed that lie, and then Adam followed her, and they did it.
And so just like that, the whole world went from no sin to sin, just in the snap of a finger, and everything changed for the worse.
Maybe we should talk about the way the 3 cords of the rope of sin tie in to the story of Adam and Eve.
Ha, 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 ha. Ha ha! That was great. I thought that was very high quality.
All right, fun as that is, let's keep moving.
All right, look, we've got the 3 cords of sin, right? Polluted hearts, bad hearts. What was I should have memorized the hand. So hearts, deeds, and status guilty, right? So when Adam ate the forbidden fruit, sin came into their hearts, polluting their hearts, making their hearts bad. They did an evil deed. They disobeyed God, right? So they ate the apple, and then they were guilty before God. Their status became guilty. And that, of course, is called the...
Kids, what's that called? The whole thing.
The fall, yes. Capital
job.
F. The awful event at the start of history that destroyed goodness and righteousness and obedience and our perfect relationship with God and led to death and corruption and everything horrible that exists in the world today.
Thought you were going to say including Chick-fil-A.
Including Chick-fil-A.
You made a big point about that earlier. All right, you're wrong. Anyway, all that stuff is instantly gone. Snicker snack. It's gone.
Snickers back indeed. They were suddenly as bad as, let's see, what's an analogy for how bad they were? Like maybe a bread-related analogy would be good. What do you think, Ben?
No, that's a good idea. Like something stinky that's bread.
Oh, stinky toast.
What a great... Oh, whoa, for shame. Jake said not to say that.
Oh, Jake doesn't like it when we say stinky toast?
Guys,
No, he doesn't like it when we say stinky toast.
Okay, yeah, it's coming back to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake doesn't like it when we
he
say
just doesn't like it
Why doesn't Jake
when you
like
say
it when we...
stinky toast.
guys,
Let me ask the reporters questions. Who,
guys,
us?
hey, stop.
What? Stinky toast?
I just
Where?
find the
Here?
idea of sewage spread over bread disgusting. I'm sorry. You're right. I don't like stinky toast.
I don't feel like saying it anymore either.
Yeah, when you make me picture sewage spread over bread, it's like, we never said that.
But
We just said stinky
maybe
toast.
That would,
It might be better if
all
we
right.
Let's
sang
not say
about it.
Yeah, no.
It might be better if we sang about
Jake
it.
clearly wants us to sing a song
Yeah.
about stinky toast.
This makes a lot more
You guys,
sense of everything.
what I really want, what we all really want, is for you to waste our time with a musical number about stinky toast that takes forever and goes on and never stops. It sounds awesome.
Oh,
That'd be weird if that was sarcastic. So I'm assuming it's sincere. You
Yeah.
want us to
Jake,
sing.
if that's really what you want,
I would-
you got it.
Now we just happen to have our toast outfits.
I don't know. I didn't even think. I don't even know why I put this in the bag
I
tonight.
don't know why I put my.
It's just so random that I brought it. Yep. Sometimes you make decisions you don't understand, and then
Sometimes-
there's a reason for it.
Right.
There's a reason for it
I find
all.
every dumb decision I make pays off, and Jake is happy. Okay. All right. So Jake, as requested,
yeah, I'm just
song,
gonna sit right
a
here.
long, repetitive
Yeah.
song about sticky toast.
This is a new idea, guys. I sit here while you dance around endlessly.
Okay.
It's good.
Do we have our bread?
Yeah. Okay. You want it now?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think.
another thing I randomly brought
Yeah. Well, you were always just snacking on
for no reason.
for no reason. All
Just
right.
gonna toss it into the crowd like you're feeding ducks or something.
Well, that would be ridiculous. That would be totally ridiculous.
if they're ready for it, man.
All right.
Hold on, you have to wait. Right. Stinky toast.
Stinky toast.
Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky, stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky, 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 stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky toast. Stinky Stinky toast, 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 stinky toast.
stinky toast. Stinky, stinky toast.
Good quality stuff, guys. Very creative.
Was that what you?
Well done.
Was
Yeah.
that what you were asking
Did
for,
we get
Jake?
you what you needed there?
Was that what you
Yep.
wanted?
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay. Anything for you, Jake?
Man, wouldn't do that for anyone else. That's for
Right.
sure.
No. I mean, that was kind of stupid, honestly. But for you? All right. Man, the things we do, huh, Ben?
Jake's the boss.
He's the boss.
God cursed Adam and Eve with death, kind of like he cursed me with you two.
And, God had already warned them that he would do that. Genesis 2:17, in the day that you eat of the tree, you will surely die.
Now, true or false, Adam and Eve did fall over dead the day they ate the forbidden fruit.
No? You say
False.
no? False, that's right.
False. They did not fall over dead that day, but they did die spiritually, and they did begin to die physically.
So sin killed us in two ways, and death comes from sin. And we lost our lives spiritually and physically when Adam and Eve ate the fruit.
Now, you keep saying words like we and us. So the final question of the night that I think we need to answer is, how does sin get its hooks in us? I mean, we weren't there with Adam. We didn't eat the fruit, right?
Well, kind of. I mean, we were represented there by Adam. God had given Adam the responsibility to be the head of the newly created race of man. And that means that sin became our sin. His sin became our sin. He was in our place. It was credited to all men who would be born down the line.
Yeah, God designed the world to run that way. He designed the world so that, you can see it even today. If our president declared war on, say, Canada, then you might not agree. You might not like it. You might love Canada. You might think those hockey-playing, maple syrup-eating, Mountie-riding people who are coming to make off with our good American chicken, we ought not to fight them. Well, you might be crazy, and that's where you'd be wrong, eh? Because one day those Mounties are going to ride over the border, and they're going to attack, and then you'll be sorry. But, still, it's just an example. What was I saying? You might disagree. You might not think we should go to war with Canada. You're crazy. Crazy. But if the president decided that we were at war with Canada, then you would be at war with Canada, even if you didn't want to be.
Right.
It makes perfect sense, right?
It's a great analogy. Yeah.
Analogy. The president is the head of our nation, right? If he says we're in the war, a war, I guess with Canada, the war.
The war.
The war.
You're part of it, whether you like it or not, right?
And so the point is, Adam was head of creation, which is why when he fell, all creation fell with Adam.
Right. And that explains why God punished all of Adam's descendants. He punished you and me and everyone who's ever been born.
Basically, Adam declared war on God, and he's like your president. And now you're at war with God. And we live under the weight of Adam's punishment.
And we're all born sinful. Although some people like to argue otherwise. They like to say, well, kids only sin because they see someone else doing it.
We sin only just the devil tempted us, or mommy and daddy didn't love us, and that's why we sin.
Yeah, people like to believe that we're only sinners because we happen to sin, but the reverse is actually true. We sin because we're sinners. We're born in sin. God sentenced us all to a spiritual death in Adam.
So as soon as you're conceived in your mother's womb, when you're a tiny little embryo that can only be seen under a microscope, your heart is already rotten. It's already corrupt. Sin has got you. And your heart is ready to commit acts of rebellion against God.
Psalm 51:5, King David says, behold, I was brought forth in iniquity, and in sin did my mother conceive me.
There's the Bible verse. We're sinful from the time we're conceived.
Ephesians 2:3, the Apostle Paul says that all people who are not in Jesus Christ are by nature children of wrath.
All people, not all people who are grown up enough to think clearly about right and wrong. No, just all people. No age group gets an exception.
Yeah, so kids, why are you bad? That's a question I've been wanting to ask you. Why are you bad? Why do you disobey your parents? You're saying sin is the answer? What? The fall? Well, you kids are too good. You have the right answers. It's not just because you learned from bad examples, even though now that I'm a dad, I can say that I've already been a bad example to my little babies. And so they are learning from bad examples, like me. But the first reason that they sin is not because I'm a bad example, it's because they are born sinners, like you.
Right. We sin because we're conceived and born with polluted and corrupted hearts. And that's how we enter the world. God judges our sewage right away. We're guilty right away before we do anything to express our sinfulness. And then, of course, we do a lot more sinful things, which make us a lot more guilty.
And a lot of people don't like the idea that the Bible teaches this, because it just doesn't seem fair to them.
No, but when we don't like something in the Bible, we have to understand a deep and profound truth about ourselves. We're wrong. God is pure, God is holy, and we're not.
Yeah, and what the Bible says about sin, original sin, explains the world, and it explains us.
Right. It's like what you always say about this subject, Jake. You like to compare it to gravity.
Yeah, I can hate gravity. I can hate the concept of gravity. I cannot like it. I can look at the basketball goals all around and wish that gravity didn't exist. But the fact is, I can't go up there and dunk a basketball. If I go up, I'm going to come down. And so it doesn't matter if I like it or not. Gravity is the law. It's the way it is.
Well, that's really everything that we had to say tonight, but that feels kind of like a bummer. Like, sin happened, and it's bad.
It's right up there with Canada.
Canada's not a bad place.
What? I didn't. Who said it was? I didn't say anything.
No, Canada's great.
I didn't say that.
Sin is a killing disease, and we all have it.
And the disease is terminal. But the good news is that there's a cure, and his name is Jesus.
And Jesus has an answer to sin. So in place of our dead heart, our rotten heart, he gives us a new and living heart where God's Spirit can live.
In place of our evil and rebellious deeds, he trains us to do what's right.
And he even deals with our guilt too. He was punished for our guilt so that we could be rewarded for his righteousness.
All right. We go into a lot of detail about all that stuff, obviously.
And one day we will. We are planning to do that sort of thing over the course of the round table, but we're not going to be able to do that right now. We will learn more about Jesus next time, though.
Right. For now, I want to make sure that Jake gets what he wants out of tonight. And so...
He's a hard taskmaster,
yeah,
Jake.
Well, we'll do it. We'll build your pyramid, buddy.
Can you do it if I take away the bread? Can you build bricks without bread?
Yes,
I already ran out of bread.
Well, speaking of bread,
just don't sing the No More Stinky Toast song.
Did you say more Stinky Toast song?
That's what I heard.
No more Stinky Toast.
You know, you can't say the words "no more stinky toast" without saying the words "more stinky toast." They're right in there.
Right. You just add a comma. I think I'm hearing the comma. No, comma, more stinky toast.
You got it, guys. Good.
Well,
but we know how much you actually hate it, Jake. We're not stupid.
Right. No.
Could have fooled me.
No, we know you hate it when Ben and I sting stinky toast.
When you stink singy toast.
When we stink stinky toast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we get it, Jake.
Man, I'm really sorry that I just said the phrase stink singy toast.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing that happened tonight. Okay, well, Ben, we're not going to just like sing Stinky Toast for Jake, right?
No, of course not.
Of course not.
And I want to say good, and yet.
You know what we could do, Ben, to honor the Commander-in-Chief himself?
And Nathan, are you thinking what I think you're thinking?
I think I'm thinking what you think I think I'm thinking.
We don't have to sing Stinky Toast when...
we have all these children.
Ah!
Yeah. Come on up, kids!
All right! Get up here! You can be the toast. Okay.
You want to be the toaster?
All right. Oh my
You
goodness.
can all have a
I
turn.
don't think you're sorry.
All right. Organize.
All right. Yep. Very good.
All right. Now the
really
words
excited.
are.
The words are very complicated.
The words are complicated. The words are stinky toast. Can you say it on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. All right. So
I think they've got it.
I'll just start the music. This will be over in, half
10
an hour.
minutes.
10
It's
minutes.
over.
Okay. All right, you got to kind of dance.
Yep. You do like this.
If you're not dancing, you're not doing it right, guys.
Stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky, 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 toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast,
Everybody put your arms like this.
toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky toast, stinky
Stinky toast. Stinky, stinky toast.
All right, give yourselves a round of applause. Good job, good job, good job.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for tonight.
Oh. Oh.
Give it up one more time for this edition of the Round Table. Give it up for these kids, man. This is awesome. We want to say thank you. Thank you for being here, especially all you new faces. We really appreciate you coming out. Hope you got full on laughs as well as the white bread. We want to make sure to make you aware that Sunday, November 3rd, we're going to be right back here. We're going to do the next edition of the Round Table, and it will be Who is Jesus? We're really looking forward to that one. We hope you'll come back. And Church of the King worships in this same space every Sunday at 10 a.m. We'd love for you to join us, especially if you don't currently have a church home. So thank you again for coming out. Thank you for having fun. We look forward to seeing you next time. On your way out, grab one of these cards. They're going to give you great handles and wonderful questions that you as a family can work through throughout this month related to the themes that we talked about tonight. Thanks again. Have a great night.